Did you know Donald Trump is closely monitoring several Supreme Court cases that could significantly expand or limit executive authority during his presidency? Multiple high-profile cases moving through the Supreme Court. This term involved questions about presidential authority over federal agencies, immigration enforcement, regulatory rollbacks, and the limits of executive orders. Legal analysts say these rulings could reshape how much control the White House has over independent agencies such as the Environmental Protection Agency, Federal Communications Commission, and even the Federal Reserve. At the center of the debate is a constitutional question that has simmered for decades. How much power does the president truly have over the administrative state? Trump allies argue that unelected bureaucrats have accumulated too much authority, making policy decisions without direct voter accountability. They believe the court may clarify that executive agencies ultimately answer to the president. Critics warn that expanding presidential removal power or weakening independent agency protections could blur the separation of powers. Some constitutional scholars caution that overly broad executive control risks undermining institutional balance. One case under review challenges whether the president can remove agency heads without cause. Another examines whether regulatory rules passed by agencies can be overturned more easily under executive review. If the court sides broadly with the administration's arguments, Trump could gain expanded flexibility to restructure agencies, replace leadership more rapidly, and reverse regulations without lengthy administrative hurdles. Supporters frame this as restoring democratic accountability. They argue that voters elect a president to set policy direction, and agencies should not operate independently of that mandate. Opponents warn that weakening agency independence could make financial markets and environmental enforcement more volatile, depending on who occupies the White House. The Supreme Court does not move quickly, but when it rules, the impact can last generations. For President Trump, these decisions could define how far executive power extends in his second term. The rulings are expected later this term. Whatever the outcome, they will likely influence not just Trump's presidency, but the balance of power between Congress, the courts, and future administrations.